Welcome back to Only Talk Sports, and today we have a video talking about will this be Tom Brady's last year? Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this. Will this be Tom Brady's last year? We have no idea because Tom Brady has been playing us to death. He acted like he was retiring last year, and then he comes back out of retirement, and everybody's like, "What is Tom Brady gonna do next?" And now he's not playing in the not he was obviously not gonna play in the preseason, but he hasn't even shown up to practice, and now he's gonna be back soon. Tom Brady's playing around with us, so I thought it would be an interesting discussion to say, will it be Tom Brady's last year? We're not going to be able to ever know this. We're not going to be able to find the answer in this video. I'm sorry, but will say there are some things that we'll be able to tell if it will be Tom Brady's last year. Now, number one, if Tom Brady wins a Super Bowl this year, he could go the Peyton Manning route and just retire. He could just retire and right off into the sunset. He's already the best, probably one of the best quarterbacks of all time. That's a whole other discussion for another day. But he's done everything. He's won multiple Super Bowls. He's done it on two different teams. He's had a great career. He has nothing else to prove. So if he wins another one, he could just go out with a Super Bowl and end it all, and that's it. But if he doesn't, just say they have they make the playoffs and they don't do that well, he might try to come back and do it for another season. But again, we don't know what's in Tom Brady's mind because Philip Rivers, he made the playoffs at the Colts because he was at the San Diego Chargers, now Los Angeles Chargers, and he didn't win anything, and he goes to the Indianapolis Colts, and they make the playoffs, and he just decides to retire. And he was satisfied with that because of the fact that he has not had the greatest career on wins and losses at the Chargers. Even though he was a great quarterback, he just never really had the team. But with Brady probably would want more if they don't have a great season this year and they win like 11 games and they lose in the first round of the playoffs. There's a pretty decent chance that Tom Brady's going to want to go out as a Super Bowl winner, and he'll come back for another year. If he wins the Super Bowl, I would say if he wins the Super Bowl, he's probably done. But we don't know for sure because we don't know how much more he wants to play. Even if he does lose, he could quit anyway. But we don't know. Like I said, when he was at the Patriots and he lost, his last throw was an interception, and then they had the whole dispute. They didn't want to pay him all the money, which is why he left and went to Tampa Bay anyway. He left for because they weren't going to pay him a lot of money, but some people thought he would just quit because it's like, well, he's done. But he didn't want to end out like that. So I think it really just depends on whether Tom Brady wants to end his career with a Super Bowl win, or if he's just eventually going to end his career because of his age. I mean, he is like close to about 45 years old. I mean, he's the longest tenured quarterback in NFL history playing at this high level. There have been like one or two other quarterbacks that were like 45 years old, but they were backups at best. They weren't doing what Tom Brady's doing, leading a team into the playoffs. And granted, I will say the Buccaneers have really upgraded the talent there because he wouldn't have wanted to be at the Buccaneers with the way the Buccaneers were before. They definitely upgraded the talent to have Tom Brady be content with the team. And that was another reason why the Patriots he left was because the Patriots they were going downhill. They weren't doing as good, and he wants to win. But again, it's all going to come down to whether Tom Brady wants to end out with a Super Bowl, with a ring, being a winner, and end it like Peyton Manning did, or if he's going to want to continue to play after that or not. And again, if he loses, I think he will. If he doesn't win the Super Bowl, I think he'll come back for another year. But we just don't really know what's going in Tom Brady's mind because Tom Brady's keeping everything under wraps. He's being very secretive about everything. So we don't really know what Tom Brady wants to do, but what I do know is that Tom Brady will not be in the NFL much longer, regardless. And I know people will be upset about that because of the fact, he's the greatest quarterback of all time in some people's eyes. In a lot of other people's eyes, he's at least one of the top three greatest quarterbacks. Again, that's a whole other discussion, but people don't want him to leave. But unfortunately, the time is getting really close. It's either going to be this year or it's going to be in a couple years, but some said he might play till 50, and heck, he might play till he's 50, but it's going to be soon. But it's going to be interesting to see if they don't win the Super Bowl, will he come back? I would say he will come back at least one more year if that's the case. But if they win the Super Bowl, he could go out and just end it like Peyton Manning did and be done with it and say, I won a Super Bowl and I'm done. But who knows? He might come back even if he did win a Super Bowl. But if he don't win a Super Bowl, I think he'll come back one more year at least, to try to see if he can win another one. But we'll see. It's going to be very interesting to see, and I can't wait to follow to see what Tom Brady is going to do at the end of his career. I hope you like this video. Comment down below what you think Tom Brady's going to do, because it's a very interesting thing. Nobody knows. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of this kind of content, and I hope you like this video, and I'll see you next time.